So I have noticed that this is a very common mentality to have amongst a lot of women. And I do think that it is rooted in pick-meism for sure. It's rooted in being a pick-me. I think it's also rooted in the mentality of seeing a man as a prize as opposed to yourself as a woman. I think that this mentality of, yeah, he did it to her, but he won't do it to me, is rooted in seeing a man as a prize and therefore feeling like you have to compete with other women for said prize. Or you think that you're in competition with the next woman to get better treatment out of a man than what she was able to get. And I just think the craziest thing about this mentality is that it has been proven to have a 0% success rate. But yet there are just still so many women who have this mindset. And I think that the Wizard Liz is an example of this, because apparently her baby daddy's ex reached out to her very early on in her relationship with her baby daddy Landon, and she dismissed what the ex-girlfriend had to say to her as, oh, she's just jealous, she's just bitter, it's not going to happen to me. To find that out was just like, oh, like no wonder people really don't have a lot of sympathy to give to her, because oh my God, if I had $1 for every time I've thought to myself when I was dating a guy that I wish I could get in contact with his ex-girlfriend. I wish the ex-girlfriend could give me the tea on this person. And for you to actually luck up enough to get that and still just choose to ignore her and dismiss her because of this, he did it to her, but he wouldn't do it to me mentality. It's so insane to me. It's so insane. I am so tired of seeing women who have this mentality. It seems to be very prevalent. I think Megan Thee Stallion is another prime example. I mean, I don't know if she knew about, his past when she got with him, but at some point you have to assume that she learned about his past. And it's like, come to find out, this man has been unfaithful to literally every single woman that he has ever been with prior to you. I mean, he's literally an athlete, right? So it's like, why do you think that you're going to be the exception? Even I actually was watching a video about Karrueche Tran and Chris Brown's relationship and how she literally had to get a restraining order against him because he was physically abusing her. He was stalking her. I mean, he's insane. But it's like, girl, did the whole world not see what this man did to Rihanna's face? We've got to get past this mentality as women. You are never going to be the exception. You're not going to be the exception to the rule. You are not going to be the one who makes a man change his ways. You are not going to get something out of that man that other women before you just weren't able to get because they weren't X, Y, and Z enough. No, it's an illusion. It's delusional. It's egotistical. I've never fallen for that whole a man changes for the woman who's worth him changing for. It's BS. A man changes if he decides to get to a point in his life where he wants to truly sit down, look within, and do the work on himself to become a better man and a better person. And that's it. That's it. There's no such thing as a woman making a man change. If anything, these men actually change for the worst. And a lot of the times, the next woman is going to get worse treatment than the prior woman did. If anything, it's never better. Never. I think that is why there is this growing sentiment of people just not really having that much sympathy to give to a lot of women in their situations nowadays, because it's just a lot of the time these things are foreseeable, they're preventable, and women just go in with this very egotistical, competitive mindset that blinds them. I mean, you knew that man was not a good person when you got with him. You knew that he had a history of being a cheater. You knew that he had a history of being abusive. These things are not rocket science, as women, we have to wisen up and we have to move smarter. A lot of the time, especially when it comes to these cases with celebrities, but obviously this doesn't just happen with celebrities, but when it is them, women make a lot of exceptions because a man might have a certain amount of money or he has a certain amount of fame. And that's something that I think women have to take accountability for as well, because you kind of get to a point where you realize, well, you can't really blame so many men nowadays for thinking that they don't have to be a good person, they don't have to be loyal, they don't have to have integrity, they don't have to do any internal work on themselves, and they feel like all they have to do is make a little bit of money and have a little bit of clout, and they should have access to women. And unfortunately, there are so many women who have set that tone and made it that way. These public situations happen where the world gets to see who these men truly are, but there's still going to be another woman that gets with Chris Brown. You know, someone just had his baby, apparently. There's still going to be another woman many women who will line up to be with Klay Thompson. And so that's why it just gets to the point where people are like, well, we don't want to hear you cry victim anymore. Like, we don't want to hear it anymore. We don't have any more sympathy to give, because these women know what they're signing up for. And then they cry victim when they don't end up getting to be the exception to the rule. So, saying all that to say that, in my opinion, I just don't think that a man is anything that's worth competing for. Like, you already know on this channel, I don't believe in competing with other women at all. So it's like, a man is nothing to compete over. A man is not a prize. And you are not, there is nothing that is so amazingly special about you that is going to make a terrible man suddenly become a great husband and father and a loyal, doting husband to you. Like, it's just not going to happen. Let it go.